I help entrepreneurs not being the bottleneck in their businesses. So when you're the bottleneck, the company is stuck. Do you remember a time when you were the bottleneck? A major bottleneck?
I think every day I'm the bottleneck. That's my feeling. No, we practice radical transparency in the company, and we also ask always for feedback with the consent. So sometimes, so I always ask for feedback. I ask sometimes to give feedback to people, and ask because then to be in the right mood to receive a feedback. So because I always worried about being the obstacle or the bottleneck. And actually, I took 3 days off last week, and I come back. The team, the completeness of the sprint was 83%. The sprint was great. It was actually very productive because I went away. So sometimes I really think that having more kind of an autonomous, independent structure in the team is very good, and that comes with kind of decentralizing the decisions, right? Sometimes they wait for me for like some front end questions, about the UI. Some other time, some people think that a specific, business logic they're implementing, some functionality need to be validated. But I try actually always to delegate as much as possible, and I'm okay with that. And that also comes with the fact that I said I'm very kind of a very relaxed leader on some aspect. I think I've been the bottleneck probably at the beginning of the venture, because I wanted to have a proper agile process with the GitLab, with sprints, with all the agile ceremonies, with the retrospective setups, and it's almost scientifically proven that agile doesn't work in small teams, right? So I think in that case, for me pushing for processes, that's what I saw, right, in the innovation labs of a few banks. That moment, I think I was like basically blind, and then I had to kind of realign myself to other management techniques. But then now that we are 20, for example, now it works very well, and we are flying. Actually, the last 6 months we got a new CTO, we got the few tech leads, and we are flying because they're also used to working agile. I think the bottleneck sometimes comes also because we don't understand which process or which step we are in terms of startups. Being in a seed stage startup is something, being in a series stage startup is something else. It's a different job. It's not even like an evolution so being a CEO of a 5 people company, it's one job. Being a CEO of a 20 people company is another job. Being a CEO of 500 people is another job. Probably I will be not the right one probably when you have 500. So I need to acknowledge that, and also recognize when you're at the bottleneck, you can just take another position in the company. And that for example was that's what our tech co-founder did in a very smart way. Acknowledged, we need a CTO that's more on the management side. I don't like to do it. I like to do more, engineering. And so it became CIO. So it takes care of all the internal infrastructure, where the new CTO that has a lot of experience, he comes from eBay. He was working in other big companies. So he has managed, people all his life, like the teams of under 20 people. So he came on board, and he actually brought new management methodologies that we wouldn't have otherwise. So I think it's very, it's very difficult to acknowledge that you're the bottleneck, and you have to kind of find a solution for that. It's very, very difficult. I don't think I will be able to do it.